Welcome to New Hampshire Politics with John Burt. I'm John Burt. I want to thank you for joining me. And today I have a great show. There's a lot to cover, and hopefully I'll get it all under this 25 minutes that I'll be here. The other is don't go anywhere, because in about 10 minutes I'm going to be talking about NorthenPass, and I'm going to have a question for the Burt line. So hopefully you can chime in on the Burt line and tell me what you are thinking. And but first, what I want to do is I want to bring up some pictures and start the show off kind of nice. A robin, I'm assuming 2 robins, built a nest on my porch, or my side deck, I guess it is. You know, and that's how I get in and out of the house, my wife and I. And when we come out of that door, the robin, she looks at us and she's not happy that we're out there. But, you know, sorry, robin, but we got to get in and out of the house. But what's funny is I've been going over taking pictures, and I want to bring up the first picture. And this was approximately, the pictures are June 10th, June 11th, and they're in sequence here. And the first picture that I'm bringing up is one baby robin with no hair. The thing looks pretty funny. And 3 eggs sitting off to the side. You can see the eggs down in there. I question, how do they survive? But they do, because there's a mama robin, and these babies eventually will be a mom or a dad, and they do. And then 24 hours later, I'll bring up the second picture, and it's the robin with hair. You know, the picture before had no hair on it, and just within 24 hours, hair's already growing around it. And I mean, that's just, you know, the power of you know, Mother Nature, you know, trying to survive this this baby. And then again, 24 hours later, so it'd be, you know, June 12th, 13th, somewhere's in there is when I took these pictures. There's 2 baby robins in there, and then also 2 eggs. And you know, I haven't checked since then, and what I'll do is I will definitely keep a picture on there. What I'd like to do is, I saw down to Sam's Club, they're $150, so I don't know if I want to spend that kind of money, but I want to put they call them internet cams, and it's really sharp picture. I'd love to mount an internet cam up there, and then, you know, they say you can get a website and post it up there, and I just think that would be so cool to have a live internet cam on watching these babies grow up until the mother throws them out of the nest. I think it'd be cool. So hopefully all 4 eggs will be hatched. I wonder, I should have Googled that before I came in. I wonder what the survival rate is. And like I said, I also have a video, and you can hear the mother in the background. And I'll start the video, hold on one second. When you hear in the background, and that's why I won't say anything while the first video plays, and then I'm going to repeat it in the background a couple times. You can hear the mother in the background, and she is not happy that I'm standing there. So let me start the video right now and listen to it. Yeah, did you hear the mother in the background? She was chirping away, you know, saying, hey, get away from my babies. I have heard, when I told some friends, I put this on Facebook, and I had a few friends tell me, they said, oh, they've been bombed by the mom, you know, if you get too close. But she hasn't bothered me. I don't know if she's used to seeing me go in and out, and she knows I'm not going to harm them. But she was definitely up in the tree, or I think over on the green shed there, screaming at me like, get away, you know, what are you doing? But it is just incredible when you see their beaks going up in the air, you know, wanting, you know, the chewed up food, the worm that mom's going to get for them. And again, you know, they're so fragile in how they survive. I mean, it's just, you know, it's a miracle, really. It's pretty incredible. You know, I just find it very, very fascinating. But I want to get on to the newspaper, and it's most of this is, well, I think all of this is from the Union Leader. I don't have a date on this. Oh yeah, here it is. 6/14 is when I printed this, and I wanted to talk to you about what the headlines are. Budget writers reach for Freedom Caucus votes. And what that means is they're saying right here that the Senate and the Speaker of the House are coming to the Freedom Caucus, which I'm a member, to have a lower budget, which we were told at the beginning can't happen. And the lower budget is a lower budget in the increase they want. So the budget is not going down, which I think it should, but you know what? I can live pretty much with what I'm being told. I have to research this first, so I'm not committing that I'm going to vote for that budget. But there's business tax cuts in there, which was not there. There's a couple of them. Power cost cuts. There's a tax that they're eliminating. I mean, it's a tiny little tax, but you know what? It's an elimination of a tax. I'll take it. They are adding 5 to 10 new policemen, possibly state troopers. I'm not 100% sure. You know, I'm not happy about that because I think they have a department that they can handle, you know, that they can work within. But I'm not going to die on the hill for that one. But there's so many other good, positive things in this budget. But there's still a few bad, and I have to check the bad out to see how, you know, which is going to be the best for the taxpayers. But I am just, you know, happy that we have all come together for a time, and I'm hoping that the budget will pass. And like I said, the budget vote is going to be on June 22nd. So if this airs before or after, June 22nd is when the budget is going to be. So June 22nd in the afternoon, or you know, June 23rd, you'll know if we voted yes or no on the budget, if it went up or down. A part of me wishes and hopes that it passes, but you know, again, you know, we have to look at all the details to see how it's going to come out. But our own senator here, Lou D'Alessandro, I think many things are being done to take care of the Freedom Caucus, said State Senator Lou D'Alessandro, Democrat, Manchester, during a break in the negotiations on Tuesday. So whatever Tuesday is, around the 13th, 14th is when he said that. You know, and what I'm hearing is the budget is down $29 million from what the Senate wanted, which is a huge positive. It's down $44 million, and this is increase. So they start out with $11.3 billion. They increase the budget, and now they're bringing it back down and saying it's cuts. Well, it's not. It's less increase in the state budget. So there's been no cuts to the budget. The other is, Dan Feltis. He's a Democrat over in the Senate. I don't really know who he is. You know, I think I've met him a couple times. He said the Republicans had an opportunity to win Democrat votes, which is not true. Democrat votes if they would agree to revenue estimates submitted by Sununu. Now, Governor Sununu, he's just guessing, because when he does the budget, it's right at the beginning of the year. Nobody knows what the estimates are going to be. So this is what, you know, is the problem. So he estimated a little high. Well, then we got the actuals, and we're going on the actuals, not what we guessed. And he just says how, you know, that the the Democrats would have voted for this. I'm telling you, they wouldn't have voted. I don't care if we added $10 billion to this budget. Not one Democrat is being voted for this. And from what I'm understanding is the 15 that did vote for it, they're in the back room with Representative Shurtleff, which is the minority leader in the Democrat Party, and they're being whipped away. They aren't going to vote for this. Not that they ever were. The other is Keno Garden there, you know, kindergarten. They're going to link Keno to it. I don't know where that is. I can't wait to find out. You know, I've asked a few questions around to a few of my state rep friends, and they're like, well, they're talking about it still. So nothing's happened on that, but by the 22nd, something will happen on it. So I'm curious about what's going to happen there. The next item I wanted to talk about, and I don't even know where to start, and it's what's the guy's name? He's a teacher from Merrimack. Oh, Todd Willey. Oh, it says Nashua, but I think he's a teacher. Yeah, a former Merrimack teacher. The courts must have been down in Nashua. That's why it said that. He was sentenced Tuesday to 2 years in jail, all suspended, for sending bad pictures. Here, let me bring that back up. Naughty pictures of himself. I don't know what they were. I didn't read too much into it. I just said disgusting. To a 16-year-old girl. That was a student. He's 64 years old. And this is what he said. In a negotiation plea, Judge Colburn sentenced Willie to 24 months in prison, all suspended, plus 3 years probation. He is also required to relinquish his teacher's license. So one good thing out of it, he won't be teaching anymore. But he's 64 years old. And guess what? I bet you he'll get his nice, comfortable insurance in retirement now that he'll be done. Willie also apologized to his family, including his wife of 37 years. I just can't imagine the devastation that poor woman's going through, and his 3 sons, along with the Merrimack High School family that he said he belonged to. A lack of professionalism has brought shame to this community. Yeah, it has, Mr. Willie, and it's sad that you got 2 years in jail and all suspended. Not good. I think he should have at least served the 2 years in jail. Pretty sad that that didn't take place. But anyways, I want to move on to, over in Manchester, and I'll be talking about Manchester in a little bit. What a disaster over there. They're going to raise our taxes here in Goffstown and other communities, and I'll mention that too. Hope for New Hampshire recovery. Governor Sununu has asked the Attorney General's office to look into complaints on allegations of verbal abuse and misconduct. And this is former staff alleged mismanagement and bullying at this facility. And this is to help hardcore drug users, people on heroin. I hope there's some success in there because, geez, I can't imagine. Heroin is very addictive. I have voted, for some of the recovery, and I voted against some of it because, some of it wasn't any good. It wasn't going to help, but there was some that the state was bringing forward. I believe I voted for it, and we are. Governor Sununu says we are looking into whether the allegations have any merit to them, first and foremost, and then to see what the next steps are going to be. So. We'll see what happens. It's the largest facility in New Hampshire, so hopefully they can get to the bottom of this and see what's going to happen. Now I want to bring up the BERT line, and the question is, and write this number down. You can call anytime. It's a recorded line, so I don't hear it. It's 626-7446, and so just give that number a call, and that's called the BERT line. 626-7446, and I want to know, do you support NorthenPass? And let me talk a little bit about it, and then give me a call. Now, according to, I'm not sure who it's according to. It was somebody that I saw in here, but now I can't find his name. I think it might be Martin Murray said later in this projected what they're estimating. It's not much money, but if they bring NorthenPass, and we're only going to get 10% of the power, but again, it goes to the grid, and I'm going to bring somebody in to explain all that because it is very complicated. And right here in Goffstown, that big giant line that's coming through, they're updating that to bring another NorthenPass project, kind of like that, right through Goffstown. And I'm going to support it because it's not going to do anything to any property values like they say it's going to. And the lines are already there. It's all through, virtually, all through, existing lines. But for some reason, they got to get approval. So what this is going to do is it's going to add $18 a year savings to a person that uses 300 kilowatts. Most homes uses about 600 to 700 kilowatts. That's me. So that's, $36 to $40 a year savings. What I'm looking at is the biggest thing is business. It's huge, the savings that this is going to bring to businesses. Those businesses will stay here in New Hampshire if this happens. That's one of the things I support it for. And I want to, also show you, a map that's going down through of the projected line, and it starts in Pittsburgh, and it's just above Concord is where it's going to stop. And then it picks up existing lines and then heads south. And again, we're going to suck out about 10% of it. You know, I think this is a great thing that we're going to have. You know, we got to have it. The other thing that I'm looking at too is there's Senate Bill 129. I voted against that, and it got through to the House, and it got into the Senate, and they passed it. And what this bill is going to do is yet a bill to increase New Hampshire's renewable portfolio, which means green energy. We got to stop this nonsense. Wind, when those turbines spin, cost the ratepayers 18.6 cents per kilowatt. And the legislators concurred, and the PUC forces the power company to buy it at 18.6. We can buy power off Hydro-Quebec for 3.2 or 3.3 cents a kilowatt, and then there's cost to deliver it to us. So that's how we get our power down, buy cheap power. But no, here it is, and I hope Governor Sununu vetoes this. Oh, please, Governor Sununu, veto this bill. Because what it's going to do is it's going to subsidize the solar and the biomass and the windmills and everything else, and we can't do it. We just got to stop these subsidies. And again, so give me a call on the Burt line 626-7446. And do you support Northern Pass? Yes or no, and why? And leave a brief message, because I have to, have it fairly short, 20, 25 seconds if you can, under 30. And even shorter if you can, because I'd like to get as many on, and I'm limited with time. Give me a reason why you like it and a reason you don't. It's that easy. Now on to Manchester. I want to talk about what happened on the 13th, I think they met, June 13th, and why they're going to cost Goffstown and many other communities a lot of money. Because the aldermen approved a $318.7 million fiscal budget. And Mayor Gastis, I believe, vetoed this. And it's huge increases. And where they came from is they want to increase, teacher salaries, police salaries, firemen, everything else. It's huge increases over there. They just passed a police budget, and now the firemen are after it. Let me read it right here. Financial Director Bill Sanders said Tappan, and this is what Dan O'Neill wants to do, Alderman at Large Dan O'Neill, and I think Pat Long is in here too. He wants to do this. Financial Director Bill Sanders said Tappan both this into the rainy day fund to pay for all of this disaster over there. An economic fund could affect the city's bond and lead to increased borrowing cost. Alderman at Large Dan O'Neill said raising spending for schools is the right approach. So basically he doesn't care if it's going to cost the taxpayers more money. It's just crazy what they're going to do. And Ward 8 Alderman Tommy, I don't know how you say his last name, Castastanos. He's the guy that owned the pizza places. Remember that? He just got arrested for not paying like $378,000 in taxes. And you know what's funny is, it's just a joke, but I think I forgot to pay my taxes. Well, no, I think it's and he's still an alderman, and he's still a state rep. The feds come in and have arrested him. Of course, he has all this money that he didn't spend on taxes, or he didn't pay his taxes, but he expects, and he's out on bail. So here he is, probably heading to jail on major felony charges, or unless he uses that $78,000 on lawyers that he cheated the taxpayers. But he's still a state rep and an alderman. And here he is voting for this disaster over there, all of these votes. What did he say? I'm trying to think. Well, they just talked about how he's voting on it. Also, Long did come up with an additional money, and this is State Rep and Alderman Long, through the schools for 1.4 million in revenue growth. So a little extra money comes in through extra taxes, just because business is doing good, and he wants to just spend that as fast as they can. Well, fix some roads over in Manchester for one. The other is, the governor said that he's vetoing this, and what's going to happen is warning that it would mean future layoffs and no pay raises for city workers other than police officers. That's what he was vetoing there. What this is going to do here in Goffstown, if this budget passes, which it looks like it's going to, is our own fire chief. He's been looking for 24-hour fire here. He's foaming at the mouth to have 24-hour fire. I'm telling you, we don't need it. When the vote comes, I hope enough of you conservative Republicans out there come out and vote that down, which we always have in the past. But that's what Chief Sullivan's looking for. And I'll tell you right now what Gastis should be doing is he should be eliminating full-time firemen over there in Manchester, going to a volunteer fire department. He can do that. There are cities that are larger than Manchester by 2 to 3 times that are 100% volunteer fire. And nothing against our paid firemen. I don't really know many of them, but I'm telling you right now, it can be done, and Goffstown should even look at that. Because volunteers, they'll get a stipend, but I'm telling you, they're the best firemen I've ever seen. And because, where I came from in Vermont, in parts of New Hampshire where I lived, other than here in Goffstown, it was mostly all volunteer or half volunteer and half not. Similar to what Goffstown is right now. We need more volunteers because that is the way to go. Bottom line, that's what I would do if I was Mayor Gastis. I'd be saying, hey, you want to go down this path? Okay. We're going to eliminate 30 firemen, and we're going to fill them with volunteers. So when you need them, they're going to be on call. And, because, somewhere in this article, it says it's understandable. What they're doing is not going to be allowed, sustained over the years. Look at Detroit, what they did. Similar thing, what the Democrats are doing right in Manchester. And sadly, it's going to come to Goffstown, and our selectmen, they're going to vote for this stuff and get it on the ballot, little pieces at a time. And before you know it, we're going to have 24-hour fire and extra police and all this other stuff that we do not need. We don't. I'm telling you that. And we're going to be just like Detroit and Vermont, bankrupt. Real brief at this. Court rules in Goffstown's favor. And this is over the Bel Air Nursing Home and Rehab Center over on the back center road over in Grassmere. They wanted this lit sign put up. And I almost think it's up there. It's just not lit. And the town, most of the people on the not select board, the planning and zoning board, they're not too business friendly. I'm trying to think, what's his name? I got it right on the end of my tongue. But one of them, he said he's not going to have South Willow Street in Goffstown, on Penardville. He said he'll shut every business down coming to Goffstown that he can. And these are the people we have on our planning and zoning board. And I got to be nice to them because, here's a smile, hi. Because I do need a permit from them coming up, so I probably shouldn't badmouth them too much. But they said that it was too lit up for a residential area. Well, Bel Air said that it happened over in St. Anselm's, and they allowed it over there in a residential area. Well, Bel Air, I'm sorry, you are not St. Anselm's. St. Anselm's get what they want. And that's the end there. But again, so give my Burt line a call. Where's that note there? Yep, give Burt line a call, 626-7446. And do you support Northern Pass? And if I have time, I will air your responses in a couple weeks. So until next week, I'll talk to you later. Have a good weekend. Bye.